Oh, it's another bad week for a Trump lawyer. Ken Chesebro, indicted 10 times in Wisconsin, and now a Georgia judge decided that he's both too early and too late and refused to throw out a felony guilty plea that he took 14 months ago. I'll tell you why on the MeidasTouch Network and Legal AF. I'm Michael Popok. Let's dive in to a bad week for Ken Cheseboro, one of the architects of the fake elector scheme. I would say the architect of the fake elector scheme, along with Peter Navarro and Rudy Giuliani, Mike Roman, and Jim Troupis. Troupis and Cheseboro got hit with another 10-count felony indictment in Wisconsin for lying to the fake electors. You should never lie to fake and fraudulent electors. That's probably a bad thing and a crime, apparently. In the same week, though, Ken Cheseboro also tried to get Judge McAfee in Georgia. You know, he's the guy that presided over the whole Georgia election interference case by Fulton County DA Fani Willis. Ken Cheseboro tried to argue that, hey, I pled guilty 14 months ago. Here's the early part. I pled guilty 14 months ago to a count 15 in the indictment that you, Judge, later threw out against Donald Trump. So I should be able to go free, right? No. And that's why the judge says you're both too early and you're too late. That's a talent, by the way. To be both early and late for something is a talent. Let me do the early part. Ken Cheseboro probably shouldn't have pled guilty so early. Probably should have waited around and see what was going to happen to all the counts before he pled guilty. But the judge allowed him to cut a deal. It's his deal with his lawyer. He wasn't coerced with the Fulton County DA to toss 6 counts. 6 criminal counts went by the wayside. Boom, throw it away, including the most major one, the conspiracy count with Donald Trump. Throw it away. In order for, in return, he had to plead guilty to 1 count 15, related to the fake elector scheme. Now, at no time during this process did Ken Cheseboro or his lawyers raise the issue of the Supremacy Clause. I feel like I should have there should be some sort of music when I say the Supremacy Clause. The Supremacy Clause, which is, you know, talking about the supremacy of the federal government over the state, over certain areas in which it occupies. It's not separation of powers, but it's sort of similar. And the Supremacy Clause says, effectively, the states can't try to impinge on the power of the federal government. And the argument that the judge agreed with Donald Trump at least, to throw out count 15 later, many months later, 12 months later, was that Fani Willis could not prosecute a case over the use of federal certificates and the attempt to overthrow through the use of fake federal certificates, because she's a state district attorney. That's sort of the Supremacy Clause argument in a nutshell. But Cheseboro never joined in that argument. He never filed a Me Too motion. What he just said, I agree with. He didn't file his own motion. He never raised it during sentencing. And so now he wants to benefit from it. He's also too late. Judge McAfee said, okay, first of all, procedurally, you're all upside down. Here's a legal term I use sometimes. You're all fakakta. You don't know whether you're coming or going. You want to do vacate your arrest. You want to move to dismiss your conviction, but the conviction, you went into first-time offender status, so the conviction is not adjudged against you unless you screw up again. That's one, even though it was for a felony. That's your first problem. The second one is no real arrest. You've already pled guilty, so I can't do anything about that. So your motion is completely underwater. And then you're too late. See, you're too early and too late. Why are you too late? Because if you're going to bring this motion, whatever it's going to be, you had to bring it within the first term during which I imposed the sentence. And you didn't. You missed it by a year. That first term ended a year ago. So you're late. So procedurally, I don't have jurisdiction over, this is the judge speaking to Ken Cheseboro in his order. I don't have jurisdiction over you any longer. Get out of my courtroom. I added that last part. You're done. You're baked. You pled guilty to a count. Maybe I would have thrown it out against you. Maybe I wouldn't have. I don't know. You never raised the issue. And you got the benefit of losing 6 other counts that were probably more serious. So you should be happy about that. Plus, I put you in first-time offender status, which means you didn't serve any jail time. Get out of my courtroom. I have this dream. I told people on the MeidasTouch Network, I have a dream where there's like this panel of judges. It's all the judges that have been handling all the Jan 6th criminal cases in federal court, all those DC federal judges that I love, like Amy Berman Jackson and Tanya Chutkin and Amit Mehta. You know, they're like rock stars. I want to put them up in my bedroom on posters. But here they are in my dreams sitting in this judge panel thing, right? And they're joined by all the other judges that have had to deal with the Jan 6 defendants or any of the co-conspirator defendants with Donald Trump. You know, Judge McAfee and all the Wisconsin judges and Arizona and Colorado. And all. And in my dream, this is how I dream. In my dream, when all these people that are not named Donald Trump and are not elected president of the United States again try to wiggle out, right, like crabs trying to crawl and fight their way out of a bucket, out of their criminal dilemmas, they all say in unison, sit down. Denied, like together, like a chorus of singing judges. I've been doing this a long time. I think you can see I'm now dreaming in the law. But that's my Ken Cheseboro update. I wanted to bring it to you. You know, I'm always have a special delight when the people not named Donald Trump at least are brought to justice and continue to stay in the criminal justice system. I follow it here and I cover it here on Legal AF and on the MeidasTouch network. Follow me, Michael Popok. Tuesday nights, here we go. Here's a Popok viewing guide. Tuesday nights, 8 p.m. here on the MeidasTouch network. Popok Live at the intersection of law and politics. A new 1 hour type thing. That's one. 2, we've got Wednesdays and Saturdays at 8 p.m. also Eastern time on this YouTube channel. We've got Legal AF, the full-length podcast. And then come over to Legal AF, the channel, the YouTube channel at Legal AF MTN from MeidasTouch Network for all things at the intersection of law and politics where we don't blow smoke or sunshine and we're completely independent. Till my next reporting, I'm Michael Popok. In collaboration with the MeidasTouch Network, we just launched the Legal AF YouTube channel. Help us build this pro-democracy channel where I'll be curating the top stories at the intersection of law and politics. Go to YouTube now and free subscribe at Legal AF MTN. That's at Legal AF MTN.